Today is our 25th anniversary. I feel so proud to be here. Rainoil in the last 25 years, I've done extremely well, and I feel very, very good to be part of the project. For today, while we celebrate, I wish Rainoil fantastic achievement in the next 25 years ahead.
We are here because of special occasion from Rainoil, invitation from Rainoil, which we are their customer, and they are just celebrating the 25 years anniversary, which really we are happy for them. They are doing very well. Their service is perfect, so that's why we are here.
Here to celebrate our 25th anniversary. So that's why this is my lovely wife.
Pleased to meet you. Pleased you are here to celebrate.
There's been so much talk about energy transition and all that, but there's also that argument that Africa is not there yet in terms of exploring alternative energy sources in the way the rest of the world is doing. All energy industry in terms of refining and distributing.
When I sit down here, one of the things I ask myself, one of the things we keep putting our heads together in Rainoil to say, what if it happens, is what is going to disrupt our industry. Station was a constant challenge. At some point, we had to make what I consider a strategic decision. And that strategic decision was to rebrand my beloved Ipaja station from Rainoil to a company then called Unipetrol.
Years ago, Rainoil began operations in the downstream sector of the oil and gas industry. Today, the company has grown to become a leading player across the entire value chain of the downstream sector of the oil and gas industry in Nigeria.
I'm really very happy that Rainoil is 25 years, but again, when I look back, it's like, how did we get here? For me, 25 years, I look at Rainoil, I still remember when Rainoil was still just an idea, when Rainoil was just a concept.
The process of ideas generation is like getting pregnant, incubating those ideas, and then eventually starting something that brings the business into the open. It's like birthing a child. Eventually, as the child grows, brings it to school, brings it to things.
When you found a business, it's like a mother who gives birth to a child. No matter how old you are, your mom will always remember every minute thing about you. I remember every single thing we've done in Rainoil over the last 25 years. I can remember from the very first truck we ever supplied. When I went to Mosimi depot in Ogun State to load that truck, I mean, I escorted that truck from Mosimi to First Aluminium, the Mulero bus stop in Agege, where we discharged part of that truck and took the balance to their factory in Akilo in Ogba. I still remember the very first petrol station we ever leased. I think it cost us like 50,000 naira to lease that petrol station because that was what we could afford. From that kind of transaction to going into loading LPFO, to building our own first petrol station in a place called Ibodo in Delta State, to using that petrol station to become a licensed independent marketer with NNPC, and then we signed our bulk purchase with NNPC, I think it was in 2001. You know, and from there to what it is today, it's been a journey.
Rainoil Limited was incorporated in November 1994 and started operations as a petroleum products marketing company in November 1997. The company started operations with its visionary leaders and only 300,000 naira. Today, the company's staff strength has grown to over 2,000 across the country. When we started this business, there were people who were far ahead of us, and there were people who made us look like, oh, we were playing, we were joking, we were not serious, or we didn't know what to do. People who were either had more money or more strategically connected, or one way or the other. But we had our own strategy, we had our own way of running.
The success story of Rainoil in the last 25 years is the power of vision.
For the number of years, 25 is not easy to achieve in this industry. Many companies have come and gone. What makes Rainoil stand out is the determination of the management.
He has stayed focused, he has stayed determined, and there is no doubt about the fact that he knows what he's doing. And because he's sailing the ship, we have come this far.
Our strategy is personal to us. We do not do copy and paste. These are values that are personal to us and we live them. So that's what provides the fuel, the energy, the whatever it is that keeps pushing us forward. Strength by strength, brick by brick, the company has grown on the principle of strong financial discipline and a commitment to the workforce, plowing back every naira earned into investments that have led to the quantum growth of the company.
Our GMD is a focused plan and is bent on capital investment, meaning when we make profit, it makes sure it's being invested back into the company. So with that, we experience expansion and growth every year.
A large volume of the growth that's happening within the organization has been organic. There's also, driven from, of course, the Goldmyne director, there's always that discipline to continually invest in the business.
Rainoil itself has always had a practice of putting its money back in business. So investment has been consistent, strategies have been consistent, and of course, the right set of people, and above all, God has been faithful.
There is no single asset in Rainoil now that is tied to any debt anywhere in the world. So when we make the money, we invest it. We literally invest almost everything we make in the business and the resources that we need to run the business, people, technology, and all of that.
It has been being able to grow organically. For me, it's about visionary leader, about being disciplined on our finances, and always watching out for the next phase of growth.
Rainoil is a company we've essentially built with internally generated funds. We try not to borrow money to do assets and keep our borrowing strictly for working capital, because for me it's always important that at any point in time we're able to meet our obligations. It's always very important. But again, it's driven by the peculiarities of the environment in which we find ourselves. At any point in time, we have multiple projects going on. When you invest, especially in structures and in infrastructure, it gives you the capacity to withstand shocks. Rainoil, I dare say, we are the only downstream oil and gas company in Nigeria that I know that own 3 tank farms in 3 out of the 4 key locations for product reception in Nigeria.
Since inception, the company's asset base has grown steadily to include 3 ultra-modern bulk storage facilities, a 50 million liter capacity multi-product depot in Ogara Delta State, a 50 million liter capacity multi-product depot in the Calabar Free Trade Zone, Calabar, Cross River State, a 50 million liter capacity multi-product depot in Ijebu, Lagos, and an 8,000 metric ton LPG storage and trucking facility in Ijebu, Lagos. With 3 storage depots with a total capacity of over 150 million liters, our depots make it possible for us to serve internal and external demands for large volumes of petroleum and gas products, petrol PMS, diesel AGV, kerosene DPK, liquefied petroleum gas LPG, and naphtha across the country.
2008, I remember I was in my office one day. A friend of mine, Lawrence Komolafe, God bless him. Lawrence came to me and said, okay, you have this bulk level. You need to do something else. You need to build it. Wow, that got me thinking. So I said, Lawrence, where can we build a depot? He said, okay, there's a place called Ogara. You need to go to Ogara. By 2009, we started building the depot in Ogara. By December 2010, we completed it. By April 2011, we commissioned the facility. It was an instant success. We're cruising, we're doing well, we had a very steady growth rate. But post-Ogara, the company just took off. It's like moving from dealing with truckloads of petroleum products to dealing with shiploads of petroleum products. By 2013, we have moved to Calabar, got a facility there as well, built another depot, which we named Fine Film Petroleum. We commissioned it early 2015, and we're still not satisfied. We kept growing. By 2018, we have come to Lagos, got another parcel of land in Ijebu, where we built yet our third depot, which we commissioned in 2020. By 2021, we have built yet an 8,000 metric ton LPG facility.
So with that, we put across the 4 major hubs of the country. Going down to logistics, a fleet of over 150 trucks, which is critical within our current operating space, and growing aggressively, because retail is one of our major plays for the next phase of evolution.
Rainoil stands out in the industry with state-of-the-art product quality control and an exemplary nationwide logistics network of over 130 retail outlets.
If you look at the industry, basically 2 things drive the industry: quality and price. People are quite particular about what they buy and how much they're buying what they're buying. And most times, the quality of the product tells the price. So here in Rainoil, we take quality so high? Because we know that customers are very particular about the quality of what they get, and we've maintained a very high standard in ensuring that our customers get the best and only the best.
With a fleet of over 256 tank trucks, Rainoil offers efficient delivery of products to our network of stations and customers across Nigeria. Our retail outlets are spread across the country with stations strategically located in major cities such as Lagos, Abuja, Kaduna, Port Harcourt, Calabar, Uyo, Enugu, Onitsha, Asaba, Makurdi, Sapele, Lafia, and Kefi.
I patronize Rainoil majorly because of the quality of the fuel, and above all, they also have a lot of branches. Most places you go to see Rainoil, especially in Delta State, and I strongly believe that they have a very strong ground. And when you get to a Rainoil filling station, you see virtually all the ranges of what you want to buy. Lubricants, engine oil, and all of that.
When there is scarcity, there is stable, and the products are okay. I'm always here every evening. The meter is very okay.
When you are there trying to keep and retain the customer, all the things you want to ensure they have is a super experience in your facility. So, and that goes beyond just selling the product. See to it that the customer who bought from you has a seamless process in getting this product. With that, we've had them come back again and again.
As of today, we have about 130 active petrol stations. We have another 32 petrol stations at various stages of construction. We never stop investing.
In the next 25 years, what I see is that Rainoil will be physically present in every local government in Nigeria.
Rainoil has grown to become the mother company that has birthed many other brands such as Finefield, Eterna, and Norseworthy Farms.
Norseworthy Farm and Allied Industry Limited is an investment arm of Rainoil Group. We have about 1,500 hectares of land here. This farm you are seeing now is in 3 phases. You have the first phase, the second phase, and the third phase. All of them cumulatively, we have about 200 and something thousand plants that have been planted in this farm. Despite the challenges we have from the community youth, the security here is tight and assured. We are heading into the new stream, whereby we can be able to process this oil palm fruit into various products and derivatives. That's what gave birth to us installing a palm oil mill of 10 tons per hour processing mill. The facility is in progress.
As the company grew over the past 25 years, so did the founders' compassion for the community. With a focus on people, from staff to host communities, Rainoil has funded countless corporate social responsibility initiatives in sports, health, education, and road construction, and advocacy for women. In March 2019, in support of women, Rainoil sponsored the Nigerian pavilion of the Nigerian delegation at the Women Economic Forum in New Delhi, India. Rainoil continues to uphold the values on which it was established 25 years ago. Integrity, hard work, and financial discipline are the backbone of Rainoil's phenomenal growth. These values have become the DNA of the entire Rainoil workforce of over 2,000 men and women, offering world-class service to the company's clients, customers, and partners across the country.
Our success in these 25 years has even included the hardworking staff of Rainoil, young men and women professionals who've been here every day to ensure that things are being done that will make a difference in the business.
Rainoil actually has very experienced and technically gifted staff and personnel across the various business units.
I think what has made us stand out is fantastic leadership, visionary leadership, and hard work. We have a team of hard-working people here, and it cuts across the group. Everywhere you go, they seem to be the same. Every single staff is hardworking, putting in extra hours, making sure things work.
God has blessed this company with a team of committed intelligent, smart workforce who have continually contributed their bit to ensuring that work goes on.
All Rainoil staffs have this core value which we work, and that rights, respect, integrity, teamwork, excellence, and service. We all have this in high doses. The ability for all of us coming from various backgrounds to work together is what makes Rainoil unique.
It has an entrepreneurial environment, right? And gives us the ability to create a new business. We see people taking
I told the organization like I said to hire. So what I can take, I don't give the organization. It has helped me grow and I appreciate that I truly worked here. I really appreciate my business. You know, I was just thinking one day and I said, I've run Rainoil for 25 years. Rainoil has paid salary. But when I sit down and say 2,000 people earn their livelihood from this organization, I tell my staff, I have no right to work this organization. I have no right to act irresponsibly.
I have that feeling in me is when I'm signing salary checks. I feel good knowing that somebody is going to get an alert on her phone or his phone and say, oh, I just received my salary, I just got my wages for the job I am doing.
If for any reason, even if it's operational reason, salary gets delayed for a few days, I get very upset.
Global trends in energy consumption are quickly evolving, and Rainoil is already at the cutting edge.
There's been so much talk about energy transition and all that, but there's also that argument that Africa is not there yet in terms of exploring alternative energy sources much more the way the rest of the world is doing. Our own energy industry in terms of refining and distributing products is still very basic, like it's still far from where the rest of the world is. We are not working in isolation, we are working with the rest of the world. In order for the world not to leave us behind, we may have to run these two side by side. For Rainoil, for instance, it's in this regard that we immediately, when we saw the direction we were going to invest into LPG.
When I sit down here, one of the things I ask myself, one of the things we keep putting our heads together in Rainoil to say, what if it happens, is what is going to disrupt our industry. Petrol, otherwise called PMS today, accounts for a very, very significant portion of the business we do. What is going to disrupt petrol? What will disrupt our industry faster is gas. So 4 years ago, we started investing in LPG. So that by the time that change comes, we are there, we are prepared. It's not going to catch us on our ways. Today, as we are expanding our retail footprint, we are massively expanding our LPG footprint across the country. Our next target is to have an LPG facility across the entire 36-state capital, first and foremost, before we now cascade it down to the next major cities. And we really started that. And all our LPG facilities across the country are doing very well. We've already bought about 40 LPG trucks to aid our distribution.
The journey to the next 25 years begins now, and the company is positioned to continue leading the energy sector in Nigeria and across Africa.
Right now, 25 years, I would expect to be a top-of-mind brand, household name within our industry and operating space.
In the next 25 years, I see Rainoil going to be upstream, possibly operating a refinery as well, maximizing the entire value chain.
I expect Rainoil to be at upstream. I expect Rainoil to have done more than what we have done and to be a real player to be recognized with.
I see Rainoil becoming a household name in the entire world. As far as this business is concerned, oil and gas business.
We want to be able to look back and say, yes, We started this from nothing. We want to be able to be one of those African companies that will break that barrier that says that African companies don't live beyond a certain age. We want them to continue to be there. We want them to continue to exist. We hear of companies abroad that have done 200, 300 years and all that. Why can't we have that?
One thing for sure is that Rainoil will remain in the energy space. What that energy will be 25 years from today is what I may not be able to completely define. The world keeps evolving, but energy will not change. Whatever that energy will be, Rainoil, by the grace of God, will be in that space.
I want to say congratulations to GoldmyneTV. I want to say congratulations to my team.
I want to wish Rainoil a long-lasting life.
Happy 25. And pray that you have more reason to be brave and to be able to
Ladies and gentlemen, and that is us in TV.
Come rest your head on my shoulder. We gonna start us in the night. Oh yeah, I wanna feel you beside me. Oh, just holding you tight. Oh, 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 give me a little tenderness, letting you know that you love.
We've started this event by giving thanks to God. We did a Thanksgiving service yesterday. Because as we all recognize, only God could have made this possible. Rainoil is a company that birthed just as an idea, as a seed. I recall I left the university, did my NYSC, worked briefly for Pricewaterhouse, then joined a company called Rainoil Company Limited. That was in 1992. 92, 93, 94, I remember then, I was on a salary of 30,000 naira a month. And I asked myself one very simple question. Gabriel, what else can you do to earn 30,000 naira? I asked myself that question because I believe then, and I still believe today, that anything you can do to earn your salary can take the place of your job. It doesn't matter where you work, whether you work for Shell, whether you work for, it doesn't matter. Anything you can do to make your salary can take the place of your job. So then I said, Gabriel, if you could sell one truck of diesel, one truck of diesel. A truck of diesel in 93, 94, then we're buying diesel for 9 naira, we're selling it for 10 naira. Then the truck of diesel was standard, it was 30,000 liters because only NNPC then had all the depots in this country, and NNPC ticket was 30,000 liters. Today when I see trucks carrying 50,000 liters, I say these trucks don't know where we are coming from. In the good old days, Mr. Tetuji will bear you witness. NNPC depot ticket was 30,000 liters. So I said, if I could sell one truck of diesel in a month, even if I supply a truck of diesel and go home and sleep for 30 days and come back and collect the money and supply another one and go home again and sleep for another 30 days, I will make 30,000 naira. I did the calculation, the truck of diesel was 30,000 liters or 300,000 naira. So I set out to raise 300,000 naira. But first things first, I needed to incorporate the company. So in 1994, I got up in my house, I called my wife, Went to meet a friend of ours who is a lawyer and a pastor in Afakoro. So we started banding names around. Gabriel, what name do we give to this company? So we started banding names around. But at some point, NFA said, no, Gabriel, rain stands for blessing. Why don't you call it rain oil? I said, NFA, you know what, you're right. Instead of rain oil, we're going to merge the rain and the oil together to get one word, Rainoil. And that was how Rainoil Limited was incorporated in November 1994. I got the certificate of incorporation, I put it in my drawer. Recall I had a hypothesis that if I sent a truck of diesel, I would make how much? 30,000 naira. But I didn't have the money. But I remember then, I was doing a lot of work out of the NNPC depot in Ejigo. So then, with as little as 2,000 naira in my pocket, I would drive all the way to Bankantoni Way in Ikeja to meet my stockbroker. Yemiko Wechi, I will give him, Yemike, buy me 500 units of Nigerian breweries. With 1,005, Yemike, buy me 400 units of First Bank. I was investing in stock. In fact, one day I carried my capital market file and I was going through it and I saw a receipt for 500 naira to buy shares in Aboseldi Art Laboratories. How many of you here remember that company? 500 naira. I was buying shares of 500 naira. By 1996, I was getting frustrated. I couldn't raise the 300,000 naira. One day, I got up in my house, I brought out my capital market file, and I started itemizing all the stock one by one. 2,000 units of First Bank at 6 naira per share, then 12,000 naira. 1,000 units of 7-Up at 70 kobo per share, 700 naira. I don't forget 7-Up because anytime I carry that schedule, I still see it. That 7-Up then was priced at 70 kobo per share, 1996. I itemized all the stock and it went into 2 pages. By the time I summed it up, it came to 497,000 naira. I was shocked. I took the share certificates. Those were the days of share certificates, not these days of CSCS. I took the share certificates, I took them back to the same stockbroker. He verified the ones he could verify. He sold the ones he could sell. By the end of the day, I had my 300,000 naira. Now, having raised the 300,000 naira, I needed to go into the marketplace to test the hypothesis. I identified a company in Ikeja, got my first LPO, supplied my first truck of diesel. Instead of 30,000 naira, I made 45,000. I did the second one, I made 60,000. I did the third supply, I made 25,000 naira. And it was obvious that my hypothesis was working. And by May 1997, I left my job to face this company called Rainoil Limited full time. 25 years down the line, we are there. It's been a journey. But we'll just walk through it a little bit so that I can just speak to what I consider to be the major milestones. When I left my job in 1997, May 1997, to face this siege then, to work on this siege, a friend of mine came, picked me on the first Saturday, and we took a drive from Lagos to Ore to Okitikupa. Okitikupa, we came back to Ore to Ile-Oluji. Ile-Oluji, we ended up in a place called Ikwetu Ijesha. In the hinterland of Yoruba land, looking for our first petrol station. And we got our first petrol station at Ikwetu Ijesha, which we took on a lease of 50,000 naira. You know, the Bible says, don't despise your days of little beginnings. I remember I think it was May 1999, May 28, 1999, I don't forget that day. May 28 is my birthday, but on this particular birthday, by 8 p.m., I was in the middle of nowhere on Akure-Ilesha Highway. We're trying to install our Tokumbo pumps and Tokumbo generator in this new petrol station. Neither the pump nor the generator were cooperating, but they had to cooperate because our first petrol station has to work. And I was there by 8 p.m. in somewhat darkness. And then that night I ended up in my room in a town called Rainoil. I don't forget. One long desperate hotel in the middle of nowhere. I was spending the night and I turned on the black and white TV in the room, and lo and behold, Manchester United was playing Bayern Munich, Champions League final. Man U was losing 89th minute, Man U was losing. And in the twinkle of an eye, Man U scored 2 goals and they won that match. That day remained indelible because that was the day I was commissioning that station, and that was also happening. So I don't forget, and it was my birthday as well. We commissioned the station and we moved on. The next year, we now went ahead to build our own first petrol station in a place called Ibodo in Delta State. That station is still standing up till today. I remember in 2001, we bought our first petrol station in Lagos, the petrol station at Ibadan. I bought that station for a princely sum of 12.5 million naira in 2001. Princely sum. I remember a few days after that transaction, I was in Lagos Country Club, and a lady, a CEO of another downstream oil and gas company, she accosted me and said, "You are Rainoil?" I said, "Yes, madam. Come. I heard you paid 12.5 million naira for that base station. Are you? You can fill in the gap. How could you pay 12.5 million for that station?" Now, why I don't forget that incident is that 20 years and counting, we are still running that petrol station. God knows how many times we've recovered that money. Today, if you offer us 300 million naira, we will not sell that property. We bought it for 12.5 million. It sounded stupid then. Now imagine what it is today. The lesson there for me is that underlining the fact that we run a downstream oil and gas company and building petrol stations all over the place, on the back of all that is actually a very massive property business. But that's a talk for some other time. At this point, I can't help but welcome my very good friend and the executive governor of Ogun State, our own Prince Dako Abiodun. I remember when we took down the railway signage and took up the Unipetrol signage, for like 2 weeks I refused to go to that station. Eventually when I went there and I pulled up and I didn't see the Rainoil brand, my heart literally broke. Then we moved on. From that moment, we kind of went into what I call a strategic alliance with Unipetrol that later transformed into Oando, such that in any market we went into, we always went in with 2 stations. We went to Asaba 2005, we went in with 2 stations, one Rainoil, one Oando. We went to Kaduna, we went in with 2 stations, one Rainoil, one Oando. Every market we go into, we go in with 2 stations. It was strategic. The strategy was From the major marketer will get enough fuel, not only to feed the major marketer branded station, but to also feed the entire Rainoil stations and also have enough to supply all our teaming customers. It was a strategy. I remember one day I ran into the CEO of Oando PLC, no prizes for guessing his name. We ran into it ourselves in Houston, and he was saying, Gabriel, you know, you're one of our biggest transporters. I laughed. You know what, on the street, they say, laugh won't kill me, die. Me, transporter. It was a strategy. Because as we go in with trucks, we transport for them so that they can pay us bridging claim, so that we can feed our stations, so that they will be the one to pay for the feeding. It was a strategy, and it was a strategy that was working very well. I need to pause at this point and recognize my very good friend, Mr. Dapo Shebu, Group General Manager, Treasury of NMPC. Dapo, you're most welcome. It was a strategy, and it was a strategy that was working very well. And on that strategy, we grew. We grew astronomically. We're doing very well, so to speak. At some point, we're pushing like 20 million liters of PMS every day, so that we believe then that singularly we're Oando's #1 customer. At least that was what they said. We thought we were doing well. Then one day, a friend of mine, I also call him a prodigy, he walked into my office at 50B Abba Johnson. We talked, and he said, Oga, you don't pass this level. You don't pass this bulk level. You need to build a depot. I said, wow, Lawrence, so where can we build a depot? He said, Oga, there's a place called Ogara. You need to check out Ogara. Ogara turned out to be a place I had done when I was in the University of Benin, Faculty of Engineering, in my 400 level, I had done my 6 months IT in a company in that town called Ogara. As a matter of fact, Ogara was the first place I ever saw a sheep in my life. So when he mentioned Ogara, it resonated. So I gave Lawrence 50,000 naira. I said, Lawrence, go and scope the place and come back. Lawrence promised to be here. Is he here today? Is Lawrence Komolafe in the hall? God bless you. So I gave him money to go to Ogara and scope the place. So he came back and said, okay, I've seen the place. So a week later, I traveled to Ogara with him. And truly, we identified the location. That location didn't go through. Ultimately, there were issues. But the seed had been sown, and we continued. Persisted until we finally got a location from a very good friend of mine who is in the hall today, Engineer Emmanuel Omena. Can we give you Omena a round of applause? We got a location in Ogara, built the depot. We started building that depot in 2009, and by 2011, April 2011, we completed that depot. And the facility just took off. That facility, it just took off. In fact, as a matter of fact, when I tell the story of Rainoil, I say Rainoil is in 2 parts. You have Rainoil pre-Ogara and Rainoil post-Ogara. They are 2 different things. We finished building that facility, and let me just share this story. Rainoil is a company which, as a matter of policy, we don't borrow money to do assets. We don't. Every single asset we have, we fund with our money. We keep our borrowing 100% for working capital. And we actually keep our working capital, we try to ensure that it's just a mixture of equity and debt. But in terms of assets, it has to be 100% equity, so that we can sleep with our 2 eyes closed. You know bankers now, Can we give the bankers a round of applause? So somehow we managed to complete Ogara. We didn't borrow a dime. We built Ogara with our money, 100%. So we finished building the facility. This was a facility, fully built, complete, COO in hand. We just needed money to trade. Money to trade. And we're ready to leverage the facility to get money to trade. Not get money to build the facility, get money to trade. Went to the usual banks. We call you for a meeting, you blow grammar, you make presentation, stool. You go for the usual meeting, you blow grammar, you make presentation, stool. Then one day I found myself in FCMB with whom we had started a relationship. So I made my presentation and I told them I needed ₦1 billion just to trade. FCMB took the data, they just punched it. This is your PMS capacity, this is your AGO capacity, this is your TPK capacity. Rainoil, what you need is actually ₦3 billion, which is $20 million. And that is what we'll give to you. It's like, did I hear correctly? Did I hear correctly? I came, I was making a presentation to get, you know, when you've been turned down so many times, you actually get timid to ask for what you truly need. So I was keeping it conservative, just give us ₦1 billion. And the guys did the numbers and said, no, what you will need is 3 billion. Then Naira was 150 to 1. So that is $20 million, and that's what we will give to you. A week later, they put $5 million on the table. Later, they put the whole money on the table. And then we started transaction. It just went, it was. That is why I will tell you, regardless of what happens, Rainoil at FCMB is always my bank and I. It's my bank and I. The facility did very well, and then we continued. 2 years later, we moved on. This time we went to Calabar. We needed to build a depot in Calabar. I will tell you one thing. One of the secrets of Rainoil is that we never stop investing. In Rainoil, investment is a continuous process. We never stop. 2 years later, I went to Calabar. We identified the location in the Calabar Free Trade Zone. We needed to build the depot. But the location we got was such that there was a road we needed to cross with our pipe. So we needed approval to cross that road. It looked simple, but somehow they turned us down. We did all the presentation. They were not ready to give us approval. I made them a proposal and I said, who built this road? Even if it is Julius Berger that built this road, we will give them the contract to cross that pipe at our cost. They said no. Then one day I found myself in Netherlands. I went for a conference and a friend pulled me aside and introduced me to a man called Benga Kwe. And he said, meet Benga, is the new MD of NEPSA. And I said, Benga, this is the challenge you are having. Benga said, no. Go ahead, we'll give you the approval. And truly, Benga gave us the approval to cross that road with our pipe and went ahead to do that investment. And by 2015, we commissioned our second tank farm in Calabar, in Cross River State, which we run under the brand Finefield Petroleum. Yet we moved on. We kept scanning the space. Post 2015, we realized that prior to 2015, the bread and butter in this industry was actually a product called kerosene, DPK. But we saw the demand for DPK practically disappear, and the demand for LPG start rising. And we said, the future of this industry is gas. And we don't want to be caught unawares. So we started investing in that space. We identified a location in Ijebu in Lagos, bought it, but this time decided to do a combined facility both for white products and for LPG. And by the grace of God, by the year 2020, we commissioned yet our third tank farm in Lagos. But this time, and then by 2020, we commissioned an 8,000 metric ton LPG facility also in Lagos. Rainoil today will remain the only downstream oil and gas company that I know that owns 3 tank farms in 3 out of the 4 key locations for product import into this country. The 4 key locations are Lagos as one, Warri as a cluster, Port Harcourt, 3rd, and then Calabar. We own a tank farm in Lagos, while in Ogara, we're in Calabar. The only location where we are not represented is in Port Harcourt. And Rainoil today, we have a fleet of more than 250 trucks for distribution of petroleum products across the country. We have a footprint of more than 130 petrol stations across the country, and we have a staff strength today of more than 2,000 hardworking men and women who make this thing happen. And these are the people that indeed we are celebrating today. So it's been 25 years of hard work, 25 years of innovation. When I look at 25 years, the past 25 years, the transition that we've taken place, and then I ask myself, what's going to happen in the next 25 years? One man I listen to a lot and whom I admire a lot is the Group Managing Director of NNPC. And one word that is very fond to him is the word energy transition. Energy is in transition. Where will it be 10 years from today? Where will it be 20 years from today? For those of us who travel today, petrol remains a mainstay of what we consume in this country. What's the direction of petrol? For those of you who travel, 5 years ago, how many Tesla cars do you see on the road? These days you go to America, at least 1 out of every 10 cars that pass is a Tesla car, it's an electric car. You go to Paris, you go to Netherlands, just on the street you see cars just plugged to charging ports. They're just being charged the way you charge your phone. Where will petrol be? One thing, there's a Harvard professor I like to listen to a lot. He's passed now, Professor Clay Christensen. The man who propounded the theory of disruptive innovation. We keep asking ourselves, what is going to disrupt our industry? Today, I assure you that Rainoil is in the forefront of questioning that idea. What is going to disrupt this industry? So that we position ourselves that whatever disrupts this industry, that we are appropriately positioned to be ahead of that curve, so that that disruption does not take us unawares. Today we celebrate 25 years of this great organization, and we also prepare this organization for the next 25 years in the energy space. What we don't know is what that energy will be 25 years from today. But what we do know is that by the grace of God, whatever that energy is, Rainoil will be adequately prepared. And by the grace of God, we all shall be here 25 years from today to also celebrate with Rainoil as we celebrate 50 years by that time. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your evening. May God bless us all. Thank you very much.
We sure hope you enjoyed this video. For more entertaining video content such as behind the scenes of music videos and movies, music concerts, premieres, interviews, and exclusive gists, subscribe now to our YouTube channel GoldmyneTV and be unleashed into a world of super excitement.